10th episode of, well, kind of morning coffee and chat. I wish the hell a coffee was working a little better today. It does not want to work for me today. Do, 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 do. It's 8 o'clock, obviously. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. Mine was just as joyful as ever. Hey, I finally found out why the um the video is always so far behind what I'm doing because it takes almost a minute to start broadcasting. It just now started. Wow. But hoping that you all had a great weekend. We had two in here, now we've got one, and it's probably me. So, uh, good morning, Tony. Good to see you here, bud. I figured you'd be here. You're always here. I know Jan will be running late this morning. She has her interview at I think she said like 8:15 or something like that. So here in about 14 minutes, I'm sure she's already either almost there or already there waiting for her interview. So good luck to her. Um, but yeah, joyful weekend. I'm actually off today. I have to get my banner made for Ghostorama, which is this coming weekend at the Beacon Club in Kalamazoo. Uh, I got a video to get up. I done all the work on it yesterday. Um, gee, I have to go through and test all the equipment. Um, and sometime between today and tomorrow, I have to weed eat the yard. It got mowed 2 days ago with a big John Deere tractor. But yeah, things almost as big as the car, and it mowed our um, eighth of an acre that we have here. But I'm not going to complain. Our friend brought his deer down and done it. So I just got to go out and weed eat and make it look pretty. So that's what my day looks like. The wife just got home from work. She had to work in Hartford, Michigan last night. So she didn't get off until almost 7. She was supposed to leave at 6:30, but she had to count in the other girls and stuff, and then she had to stop at the store because she's going to be cooking out tonight on card night with her and the girls while I'm off doing the investigation. So she had to get stuff for coleslaw and all those goodies. But yeah, busy, busy, busy. Like I said, I just wish this coffee was working a little better because I've been up since about 15 after 4, and I'm still not motivated. I'm tired. I'm tired as hell. Come on, coffee. I made this stuff extra strong today, too, and it's still not wanting to do anything. But yeah, like I said, I have to get a new banner made. I've not had the money to order a new one. With the ferocious feline um, logo on it. We're still using the three-eyed raven that we bought 2 years ago, and I've been tired for 2 months. I haven't been tired that long, bud, and believe me, I don't envy you. Everybody keeps telling me, getting older sucks, and I keep fighting it. I keep fighting it like crazy, but Oh, I guess I should probably explain the sunglasses thing. My right eye is hurting bad today. I woke up with a headache because of it. I was gonna wear my eye patch, and you know, I decided no, I'll just wear these. They seem to cut down on a lot of the light that gets into my eyes, so that's why the sunglasses at 8:05 in the morning. Uh, so what'd you do all weekend there, Mister Tony? You play on your radio? Play with the grandkids? Did you and the grandkids play on the radio? Nothing. Uh, uh, And that's what you're supposed to do when you're retired and stuff like that. Nothing. Well, you're supposed to do whatever you want to do. And if you want to do nothing, do it the best you can. Looks like we've had a couple more pop in. Good morning, folks. If you want to chat, feel free. If you want to stand in the shadows and, you know, shadow lurk, that's cool too. Don't really have a lot of I need to get done, but no energy. Yeah, and I don't understand this no energy thing. I mean, the weather's been nice. It's only going to be in the 60s here today. It's going to be a perfect evening for an investigation out there at the Michigan ghost town of Charleston, Michigan. Literally nothing still exists of that place but the cemetery. But it's going to be a real nice evening for that. Good morning, Sarah. You beautiful little thing, you. Almost messaged you the other day when I seen that you were on Messenger. I think I was. I think I was. What was I doing? I was heading to work or something, or it was almost time for me to leave for work, and it's like, oh crap, I'll get her later. And I forgot. I got busy getting ready for Ghostorama and trying to figure out how I was going to get up there. Oh, Danny and Crystal stopped by. They brought me a beautiful new awning, a big 10 by 10. So, and visited for a little bit, and yeah, it's kind of nice. I've not seen Crystal since she moved to Arizona last year. Um, she's now moved back to Michigan. I've not seen Danny in, yeah, God since forever, except on here, which is a shame because I mean we only live an hour apart, so we should be able to spend more time together, but conflicting schedules, just like with the investigations and things like that. So with Mark and Tony, just getting the three of us where we're off the same time to get out and do it. So Sarah's doing well. Your kids out of school yet, Sarah? apparently we are behind just a little bit, so I'll kind of. Oh, and I can't, for some reason, I don't know what the deal is with YouTube lately. Um, when you put your little arrow on the video, it has, the settings and volume and mute, and then has a little tiny dot with live beside it. It shows that the video is not up to time with what I'm doing, but when you click on it, the little red light comes on and goes right back off. So apparently we're stuck being 30 seconds behind or a minute behind, whatever it is. But yep, tomorrow's my daughter's last day of school. She has a half day, and then she gets to start summer school on Thursday. Online, of course. They don't do in class summer school anymore. They let the kids sit on their school computer here at home with their home computer right beside them and their phone right beside them, and think they're going to learn something. So, I don't know. It seems that communication back and forth is timely. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I've been trying to take advantage of when I'm not at work and when the wife is at work to get the videos up so I don't get behind on them. Of course, yesterday we done the Elizabeth Smart video. Tomorrow is going to be the 1874 Vicksburg Massacre. That's a really good video. Um, we're getting into those emotional videos for some reason. Emotional historic videos. Thursday will be the it'll be the premiere of tonight's investigation. And then on Sunday, we have the, what is it, 1908 Collingwood school disaster, and how it changed the safety of our kids and our grandkids and stuff. That's a very emotional video. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a few people out there that might even shed a few tears on that one. That's just a sad video, but it's history, and it deserves to be remembered. So, and then of course, I'm currently working on one. Um, what is it? America's forgotten history of the human zoos of the early 20th century. So another really heartfelt, emotional video. I guess we should change the name of the channel to tearful historic mysteries. Those were just emotional historic mysteries. There you go. I don't know. I'm finding all these really good videos and I'm watching them, and I'm just kind of, and it's like, man, if it is with my ADHD, if these things are catching my eye and keeping me enthralled, I know they got to be good. So, because, on average, I have about 312 things going through my head at one time. I feel like Mr. Data off Star Trek: The Next Generation. I've got all these things going through my positronic brain at once, and I'm able to pick one thing out and work on it. So, oh man, I'm so tired. I told the wife she got home. She's actually got stuff cooking now, so she can get like the coleslaw and stuff done for her little cookout thing tonight. She's doing barbecue chicken on the grill and homemade coleslaw. And she's working 8 hours, being gone for 10 hours, coming home and working for another 2 or 3 hours in the kitchen, and then got to be back up at 2 o'clock to get things rolling, 2 or 3 to get things rolling. Of course, we'll probably take off 6 or 6:30 tonight, Mark and Tony and I. So I know that feeling. I have such a list of stuff that needs to be done across several states and no ambition to do anything. Man, I'll tell you what. You want to see some ambition? That is a lie. Several equals two. Okay, that's still a couple. That's more than one. It's several. But y'all would have laughed if you would have seen my face leaving work yesterday. It's like, oh, one thing I don't have to worry about for the next 2 days. Um, Several sounded more, of course, more. It's more poetic. It's more, of course. I got you. Yes, I have written poetry. There's nothing wrong with that. I've written poetry. I've written a lot of poetry, especially when I was younger. There's nothing wrong with poetry. Poetry poetry can be manly if you want it to be. I've done song lyrics too. Sorry, I was on the phone call. My kids are out of school. Oh, okay. Yep. Like I said, tomorrow's Felix's last day, little half day thing. So her summer vacation officially starts on Wednesday. Sometime here, like really super soon. Hopefully next Monday or Tuesday. Um, I think we're going to take her somewhere to go, like mini golf and putt putt something. She really enjoys that. We've not been able to go. We really honestly still can't afford to go. But damn it, we need to get out and do something as a family. And now that she's out of school, we've got to. We've got to. You can't just sit around the house all the time and do nothing. Um, it makes you start looking at each other and thinking of all the ways to hide the body. And yeah, you got to get out and do something. You got to de-stress. You got to, whatever you want to call it. I expect your priorities to be here, sir. And Sarah expects you to suck it. My eldest grandson, the thing, set for graduating, and I'm taking my kids out of town today. I've got to get out of the house. So, like, damn that little heart. So, like, screw. Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't see the R because of that damn little circle behind the heart. I'm taking my kids out of town today. I've got to get out of the house. So, like, screw it. Let's just go. See, I agree. You ought to come here. You ought to bring the kids to Michigan, Sarah. We have a giant fold out sofa. We have in the couch, we have a recliner that lays almost flat. We have air mattresses. And see, that way you can be here and you can go to Ghostorama and we can take the kids on an actual ghost hunt following Ghostorama. Why the hell go to Michigan? Because it's going to be cool this week. It's not going to be overly hot. We have all these lakes to see. We have the beach right here in town. I can make them pizza, you know, and because I'm a damn good entertainer. That's why I'm a damn good I'm a damn good entertainer. Gosh, can you imagine that drive to Michigan? Well, it took us about 8 hours with stops to get from here to Gettysburg. Um, so, couple stops along the way, and I'm 7 hours from the beach. It blows. See, I like our little beach down here. They've not made it bigger yet. They're supposed to actually run it from the new pier all the way down to the log cabin museum, um, but they haven't started that process yet. But we have a great little beach, and right off the boardwalk, right in front of the beach, is the Twirl, which sells what 10 or 12 different kinds of ice cream, banana splits, milkshakes, sodas. Not to mention, they've got all those really other cool little foodie things, the burgers and the big Chicago dogs, and then just 2 blocks down from there is my bar. So Ghostorama would be fun. For you and the kids, I mean, it'll be all paranormal vendors and stuff like that, all day long. Speakers coming in to speak. Um, got psychics, professional paranormal investigators, our local teams from here in Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio. Not to mention, we've had professional psychics come in from like New York and stuff like that. And then the evening after it ends, because it goes from 11 to 7, but the evening after it ends, then, we do a big group ghost hunt. We divide up into teams. You have team guides, which I usually am one, and we go out and we investigate it. And the one this weekend, the Beacon Club, um, it is it's got a very very long history here in Michigan with a lot of your mafia members, your mobsters from the 20s and stuff would come over and they would like hang out there, prostitution, drinking, stuff like that. So, and even a few settled scores have taken place on that property. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be fun. My number 3 daughter asked Saturday for us to figure out a plan for her and her kids and hubby to come down to the cabin and try to get as much possible done. That's very cool. they're eager to help out and that's pretty cool. I don't feel like driving to the store, let alone to the cabin, never mind a bunch of work once there. I I kind of understand that. Hey Ty, good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well today. I mean, Michigan don't have a lot to offer except hanging out and doing our thing, sitting down face to face and just chilling for the first time since getting to know each other. Just ask Tyler. He's been here a couple times. I'm a pretty good host. I think. I don't think I bored him into putting the barrel of the gun. But especially weeks like this week when it's going to be pretty. It's not going to be extremely hot. It's going to be yeah. Well, I live in Southwest Michigan. We're a whole different animal over here. And besides that, even if you're bored with our little town, we have we're only 45 minutes away from Lake Michigan. So it's kind of like being on the ocean. Big beaches, you can't see the other side. Big ships out there, sailboats. You go someplace like, I used to travel to White Pigeon, Michigan a fair bit. I see that's only like 45 minutes southeast of me. 40 minutes southeast. Sun shining, birds chirping, coffee going. I hope your coffee's stronger than mine, man. I made this stuff bitter strong today, and it's still not woke me up. I've been up for 4 hours, and I feel like I could go in there. I've drank 2/3 of a pot of coffee, and I feel like I could go in there and sleep for another 5 or 6 hours. It's just, and hell, I was in bed for 6 hours, 5.5 hours last night. So I don't know what's going on. Just, but yeah, you go someplace like South Haven, Michigan, or Holland, Michigan. They've got especially South Haven. They've got the big sailing ship that goes out and takes people out on the lake and stuff like that. I mean, it's real interesting. Got all the lighthouses. And I woke up at 3 this morning, laid back down, and overslept. I wish I could have laid back down. I actually tried. When I woke up the first time, it's like I looked at my phone. It's like, oh, to hell no. Um, I went and used the bathroom, laid back down, fell asleep, woke up, and I felt really good. I thought, okay, now I can get up. I got up and came in here, got my coffee going, turned on the computer, and realized I hadn't even been back in bed for an hour. It's like, too late to go back to bed now. I got coffee brewing. I'm kind of wondering if very low blood sugar zaps energy. I don't know. Let's see. Oh. that's terrible. Mm. Put that down. Get back in the bottle, you little jerk. Alright, which way are we going here? This way.
Thank you for using Advocate product. Test strip inserted. You are now in blood glucose
testing mode. Freely in
bar
bar selected.
Please apply sample onto the test strip.
Okay, there's a sample. What's it say?
Your sample glucose level is
277.
77 milligrams per deciliter. Have a nice day.
So, not extremely high. Fish! Dude, how you doing, man? I was just thinking about you last night, but I figured it was too late to, oh, so much better. Oh, it don't make my head go dunk dunk, dunk dunk, dunk dunk. Looking at my monitor, I see that it was hovering at 40 for 3 or 4 hours last night. That's kind of low. I mean, they say ideal blood sugar is somewhere between 75 and 100. And mine averages right there at the 275, 250, 275, 250 to 300. It used to be 300 to 350. Mine averages, that 250 to 300 mark now. So, 274, not bad for me. And I've had 2 cups of coffee this morning with cream and sugar in it. I found some really cool creamer at the dollar store. It is a vanilla caramel because I don't like French vanilla. And I seen that and it's like, I must check on that. Let me see here. Being around women will drain a man. Amen to that, brother. I'm well tested for the woman issue. I have to keep an eye on my low blood sugar with this heat. It hits me hard. Your blood sugar's 145. That's not bad. Just working. Took today off. But yeah, anyway, Fish, I was thinking about you last night. It was like about 10:30, as a matter of fact. I thought, man, I've not heard from Fish in a while. I need to get a hold of him. I miss him. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for me to hear a knock at the door, and I open it up, and there's your big burly grizzly bear looking butt standing out there on my deck again. Keep waiting, patiently waiting. Average is 143. That's not bad. 145. What's with the shades? When I woke up this morning, man, my head was pounding. Um, my right eye is just so instead of wearing my eye patch and doing my John Wayne impersonation, um, I decided just to grab my shades, and because It's not. It's supposed to be partly sunny today, so the outside light really gets to me. So yeah, chances are we do any filming tonight in the cemetery at Charleston. Um, and the sun's still up. I'm going to have these puppies on because I won't even be able to read what my camera says if it gets too awful bad. Oh hell, go Cogburn, dude. I should. Oh, I'm not, and I'm trying to get over this throbbing thing without painkillers. But we'll see how that goes. I might end this and go pop me two or three acetaminophen and see if they can make it stop with the aid of the shades, of course. The only bad thing about wearing the eye patch when it gets too awful bad is it makes the left eye work harder, and then when I take the eye patch off, I don't even it don't it's I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like looking. I don't know. I don't know. It makes it more sensitive, so it's even a bigger pain physically to wear the eye patch for several hours and then take it off, and so it's at least I'm leveled out here somewhat. You have to work today. No, thank God. I've got so much stuff to do to get ready for tonight's investigation, get ready for Ghostorama on Saturday in Kalamazoo. Thank the frick God that I don't have to work today. I'm going bat poop crazy trying to get this set up, get the video edited and get it up that I've got stored on my phone now, so my phone's empty for tonight's investigation. I've got things to get ready for Ghostorama. I've got stuff to do here at the house. It's just if the pain is from inflammation issue, Tylenol won't do much. Ibuprofen would be better. Well, I'll just have to see if we got some ibuprofen somewhere then. The only thing the only thing I really hate is the fact that I've got Ghostorama coming up this weekend. There, I will not be camping at this one because it's going to be in a more public location in town. Um, so I won't be camping and doing overnight security and stuff for the people that um, can't tear down at the end of Saturday. But at least I don't think I will be. I haven't talked to Danny about it yet. But yeah, you know, I won't be cooking food or anything like that. So I'm going to have to buy everything or have it delivered there throughout the day. And y'all know the financial situation. I believe that my parents' generation referred to it as not having a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. So one of my friends from over in the UK messaged me yesterday and asked me how things were going, And I told him, it's still a struggle, but where we're keeping, this much above water. And he said, well, at least you got paid Friday. And I kind of went, yeah, okay, I got paid Friday. No, I didn't. My check didn't come on Friday. Their computers were down at the accountant's place. It didn't come in till Saturday. So I had to call the wife. She had to come up to the bar, pick up my check, go cash my check. She had to cover what was in the bank. So out of my check, I got what, $10. She made sure and kept that much out for me, but everything else had to go in there to cover, last week that we talked about when everything came out at once and threw the account into negative. So, it, we're surviving. $10 is more than I get, dude. It would be, I got to admit, it would be so much nicer if I lived in a bigger town where we had more customers, therefore I would actually get tips. Um, and it would also be really cool if the bar split tips between the waitresses and the kitchen help, like they used to do. But then the girls complained because, um, they were paying taxes on credit cards, tips, and stuff, and then they were giving the cooks part of the money. So they stopped doing that, but then they stopped splitting cash tips as well. So they benefit because a lot of people think they still split the tips, and they won't let us tell people that they don't. So it's all right. Most of the country is juggling bills. Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it. I run into a lot of people. I had somebody ask me the other day about the pizza place and whether or not the plans were still on to open it. And I smiled and I told him. I basically just asked him. I said, "Do you want to go in on a partnership? Only cost 100 grand. 100 grand will buy the building, buy all the equipment, and set us up 2 or 3 months worth of supplies to get us rolling." And they're like, "Dude, we got to figure this situation out because being the only delivery place in town, you're going to get all the business. The only reason people aren't ordering going to places now is because they got to go to places to get their food. If the food comes to them, they're not worried about it no more." But the nice thing is, my building is still sitting empty. It's just waiting for me. Not even had anybody else look at it. Had one person go in there and say, "Hey, this would make a nice ice cream place." And then they, heard about the twirl down by the beach and said, "Nope, don't need the competition." But yeah, I absolutely agree, man. Most of the country is juggling bills. The only ones that aren't juggling bills are the ones that don't got to worry about money. Don't live check for check. Yeah, I thought it was really funny, you know, uh, when I told my buddy that from the UK that messaged me and we were talking about it. He said, He said, so you went through all the stress of the week, you went through all the stress with the bosses, you went through a messed up, um, having your check short for a whole day, which you'll never see again because you've never seen those missed days in the past when they've shorted you a day. Um, and you've got paid, and the same day you got paid, you were waiting for your next check. I said, you got it. This might be a bad time to go into food service with the economy where it's at. And you know, I've thought about that, Tony. I've thought about that, but our own customers would tell us, you know, they would probably order more often if they didn't have to come there to pick it up. If they would, you know, if they would have delivery, you know, we would have much more business. But they won't do the delivery thing. It's the delivery thing. It's not really the food business itself, because there's two other places here in town that sell pizza, but you have to go there and wait and everything to get it instead of having it brought to your door. So that's grocery shopping pisses me off. See, that's one reason that I like, you know, dealing with the delivery services, be it Gordon Food Service or, you know, whatever, because they bring it right to you. And now I've found out that Kroger's is doing that now. Kroger supermarkets, a lot of places, a lot of states, you can get on your phone and place an order with Kroger's, and they'll deliver it. It, it's slowly coming to the point where you never have to leave your home if you don't want to. You can work from home, you can order food from home, you can have food delivered to your home if you just want to, you know, grab a bite instead of having to cook it yourself. I don't trust anyone picking out the meat I buy. That I agree with. That I agree with. I will literally go to a store and they have meat on sale or something like that. Say it's boneless, skinless chicken, or it's round steak, or whatever the case may be. Even ground beef. I will literally go through and look at multiple packages and get the ones that I want to deal with. Not the ones they want to give me, the ones that I want in my freezer. I don't even want to think about grocery shopping. It's been so long since we've been able to afford to actually go grocery shopping. I'm sure the people at our meat market where we normally go have forgotten our names by now. I think our I think our freezer has more cobwebs in it right now than it does meat. Well, no, I take that back. It's got more bread in it now than it does meat because, you know, last week or 2 weeks ago the bread was buy two get three free. So we stocked up on buns, we stocked up on loaves of bread and stuff like that. So we have to go get groceries a week from this Friday. Have fun with that. I need to reword that. We have to go get meat. Well, I decided that I decided that this fall I'm going to get on the county sheriff call list. Um, where if somebody hits a deer or something like that during the wintertime or whatever, they'll call you to see if you're interested in coming to get it and having it taken care of. So, like I don't terrify the children of this town enough with what I do in my spare time with the ghost hunting and everything, or when I decorate the. I mean, that'll be my guess is that spinny, spinny, spinny was due to the wife using the microwave. But yeah, I got to do. We got to figure out something because the whole meat situation and not being able to keep meat in the house, and I went out there this morning to get the stuff out for her little girls' night tonight while Mark and Tony and I are off doing that investigation. And luckily, chicken was buy two get three free 2 weeks ago. So she picked up like 5 packs of chicken. And so that's pretty much all besides one bag of smelt that's in the freezer besides bread and ice buckets, and I think there's 2 packs of ribs left in there from the buy two get three free. I mean, they're like what, that big. So I mean that's not bad. Yeah, I'm pretty much sure that's what it was, Tony. Because normally, because of where we have to set the modem, um, which is right on top the microwave, because it's the highest point available to us in the kitchen. Um, Whenever somebody turns on the microwave, the uh, the Wi-Fi signal starts to get real sketchy. So no, the casinos are not slow. I mean, they're always slow at night for whatever reason, which is one reason that the wife really likes working this, you know, 10 at night till 6 in the morning. Um, but during the daytime, we have seen no effect on the casinos around here. Parking lots are packed. So, I mean, people are out spending money if they have it. And it's really bad every single time. And Scouts honor, wait, that Scouts honor. Every single time that I get, the itchy palm, and I can afford to go out and stop by the casino or buy a couple scratch offs or something like that, I always walk away with more money than I start with. And the situation, you can't even afford to do that. Drew, have you heard the Paul Harvey bit called "If I Were the Devil"? It's been a long time since I've heard anything from Paul Harvey. Well, for obvious reasons. But still, I've not seen or heard any of. Ah, spinny, spinny, spinny. But I used to listen to Paul Harvey a lot when I was younger with my grandfather or whatever. So chances are I probably heard it before. Look it up, and while listening, remember it was done in 1965. I'll do that. I will look that up, and if nothing else, listen to it while I'm getting the video edited. Yes, it's pretty accurate what he says. It's chilling. Uh, One reason I always liked Paul Harvey is because he was a very no BS kind of guy. I mean, he told it like it was, and yeah, I mean, that's one reason I always liked it. His stuff always made you think. Whether it was and now the rest of the story or whatever. It always made you think. You were always trying to figure it out. And 9 times out of 10, when he got to the rest of the story, it was never what you thought. Or you were so far off base that you would have never guessed what he was talking about. I do. Oh, in that clip, he puts Nostradamus to shame. Oh, wow. I've got to, and maybe I've heard it in the past and just don't remember, but I'm going to have to find that and, take a listen to it and see if I've heard that before. See if I can see if it jogs a memory in there somewhere. Hmm. I do want to apologize to you guys and everyone that listens after the stream is over. I planned on 2024 being more active, going to different locations and filming a lot more, whether it be a history video or um, an investigation or a review. Um, but, to be honest, um, you guys you guys know that I work just to keep the house afloat and get help the wife get the bills paid and stuff like that. Um, Put food in the house, which failing miserably getting all those things done, um, because pay sucks and hours suck and sucks, and that's why you'll see on my paranormal vest that I wear, my tack vest that I wear on the investigations, there's actually a patch up here that says "Embrace the suck." So, but you know, we've not had a donation in a year, It was last June when we got the last donation, and that's what I buy all the new equipment with. That's what I do pay for gas to go to these different locations and stuff. So um, that's why it's been kind of the same old this year. So hopefully something great will happen, even if I have to get a second job and stay up 18 or 20 hours a day to make things work. I'm gonna make things work. So, well, if you had heard in the 80s, let's say it wouldn't hit like it does today. Cool. I look forward to that. You have to play the hand you're dealt. You seriously do. You seriously do. I mean, it might be easy to cheat at cards, but it's not real easy to cheat at life. You can't just pull a new life out of your sleeve or out of your boot top or your vest pocket. So, you deal with the hand you're dealt. I just, and it's kind of funny. We were talking about that here at the house the other day about how we had when I was younger, I was I was fascinated with paleontology, prehistoric life. When I was in the fifth grade, we had a thing in the state of Indiana called the Young Authors Convention. And a lot of the local schools would pick kids to write a book, illustrate it, write it. I wrote a book about prehistoric life. And I had detailed illustrations, weights, measurements, um, everything about the different prehistoric species that had been discovered, where they were discovered, who discovered them, stuff like that. And I was so fascinated by this stuff that it started to interfere with everything else. And my parents actually took me to a psychologist because of my fascination and the fact that that's the only thing I was fascinated with. And the psychologist pretty much told me, you know, your family probably don't have the money to send you to college to pursue this. There's really not a future in the past that you should live in today. Completely talked me out of my interests in it. And now today at 55 years old, I sit and think, my God, I could have spent the last year traveling the world, discovering new prehistoric species, written books, done lectures, things like that, if he wouldn't have told me how dead ended it was when in 1978, 79. So yeah, if he's still alive and he's watching, I'd like to thank him for fricking up my life and very possibly talking me out of a very lucrative career. I think of the paleontologists that have worked behind the scenes on movies and the hundreds of thousands of dollars they've made for their research studies and stuff, and for their input on movies like Jurassic Park and Lost World and stuff like that. So thank you very much for talking me down um, out of what could have been a really cool And see, Tony, I could almost, hey John, good to see you. See, Tony, I could almost agree with that. But when a professional adult is looking at a 10-year-old child and telling them that they're on the wrong path, there's no future, they're gonna, if they pursue that, they're gonna be penniless, that nobody's ever gonna know who they are, stuff like that. Um, yeah, it kind of ruins it for them. So, and see, if it would happen today, if it would happen today, my response to him would be something to the effect of, especially when he looks at me and says, I've never known a paleontologist in my life. Today, I would look back at him and say, have you ever known a millionaire? They exist. Have you ever known a full-blooded Apache? They exist. But the 10-year-old brain don't think about that. And even you, Tony, have you ever known a ham radio operator? Have you ever known a a person who talks to people all over the world that's not famous? I know a millionaire, but they don't know me. It's a shame how that works, isn't it? Isn't it a shame how that works? You know millionaires, but they don't know you. The middle of the country isn't super paleontologist country. It's really not. And I had, even at 10 years old, I had planned on traveling the world, going to different places, even being a college professor, and and traveling, or working at a museum. You know, and look at me now. I'm a short order cook. I'm a content creator, and I'm a paranormal investigator. Don't pay the bills. I had a group of people come in the bar the other day, and I thought it was funny. Um, it was on, what was it, the 8th, International Ghostbusters Day. The 8th of June marked the 40th anniversary for the release of the original Ghostbusters. And people through conventions and get togethers and parties and stuff, all over the world. And I actually wore my Ghostbusters outfit to work and had my proton pack hanging up in the window to the kitchen, up out of the way, so people could see it. And a couple of the customers, we had this large party of like 12 people come in right before I left, and they were talking to the waitress and said, "What's with the Ghostbuster thing?" And she told him, it's International Ghostbusters Day, and it's 40th anniversary of the original movie. She said, "But he really does ghost hunts." And they all turned around, started looking and pointing and stuff, and signaled for me to come out to them. And I came out there, and they're like, "You really ghost hunt?" Yep, I'm the only paranormal investigator in town. I'm the only paranormal investigator in the county. that we've discovered so far. And they were asking me a bunch of questions, and the lady's like, do you go to people's houses and do investigations?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I wound up giving, I think out of 12 people, I wound up giving out 6 cards. So there are probably no better spoken words than that, Fish. You are absolutely right. Success is sometimes the outcome of a whole string of failures. You're absolutely correct. I always believed that we have failures in our life so we know not what to try again. So, if you have successes, then you know how to make those work for you. If you have failures, you know what to do to not fail again. At least not at that. Thomas Edison's light bulb is a perfect example. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Oh, a whole string of failures. Yep. It's funny. My mind just went completely blank reading that quote again. Success is sometimes the outcome of a whole string of failures. Yeah, I think about all the things that I've tried in the past. God, let's go back 30 years. My first marriage, fresh out of the army, my wife became friends with people that sold Amway. I didn't like the idea, but it was my wife. And though I got to go to these large get togethers, even cookouts at very wealthy people's homes, and I got to rub elbows with people that had Range Rovers and Mercedes and big, expensive cars that cost more than our home did. And we're going into these houses inside these 4 acre, 5 acre wrought iron fenced in. I mean, wrong. $1 million houses sitting on 5 acres, and the whole 5 acres is wrapped in wrought iron fencing with electric gates and stuff like that. And you, you look at these cars parked out in the driveway during these cookouts and stuff, these pool parties, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of vehicles people drive out there, and you pull up in a reconditioned Pontiac Firebird 1978, the first year with T-tops. Big old wide tires on the back and aluminum honeycomb rims and stuff like that on it. All polished up and shining like a brand new car right off the showroom. And still, it doesn't compare to what's sitting out there. So I mean, you got to rub elbows with millionaires and learn how they made all their money and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, you realize that even though this worked for them, it don't work for you because you can't do the kind of stuff that they did. I hate to use the comparison because they were some really nice people, but it's kind of like going back in time and becoming Al Capone's best friend. You learn how Capone made his wealth, and you learn how easy life is when you do become wealthy. And he basically tells you step by step everything he'd done to become the wealthy man that he was. But that don't mean you want to do the same things that he done, because guess what? Look how his life went. You want your life to go the same way? I don't think so. Good morning, Skipper. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Oh, goodness gracious sakes. 17 minutes after 9. Going to be an interesting week. See, Tony, I have, but not for my own benefit. Not, I should say, not just for my own benefit. I always thought that it would be nice to have wealth because then I had the ability to help other people. I always thought it would be nice to have that wealth so I was able to help those less fortunate. So I mean that's my whole reason. I sit and think, if I had $10 million, I could pay off this house, possibly, remodel and even add on to it. I could pay off my mom and dad's house. I could pay off my son's house. I could give money to the town to do things. Maybe even buy a piece of land on the edge of town and build a park or a community garden or something, that's going to benefit my community, have my own business. It's limitless. It's hard enough to trust people with no money. Yeah. With me having no money, I mean, remember, you're 2 hours ahead of me. Oh, that's right, I am. I forgot you're on that. Not quite West Coast because they're 3 hours behind me. So yeah, you're right there with like Idaho and what Colorado, North and South Dakota. We live the best time. We live in the best time to be alive, they say. Um, Possibly, in a way, yes. I think the world was a lot better off pre-pandemic. The U.S. and Canada are not in good shape right now. Well, Fish, I can attest to the fact that my world was a lot fucking better in the 60s and 70s. In the early 70s, I bought a house for 200 down, 18,000 total cost. Was on a double lot. Try to do that today. Yeah, hell, you can't even buy you can't even buy a prefab garage now. For I was looking at you guys know, I'd like to tear down these old sheds out back that were built 21 years ago and put one nice shed up there, maybe build a garage or put a carport in for the wife, so her car's in out of the weather, since I mean that's the best we can afford. Why let it sit out in the ice and the snow and everything? I was looking at just a prefab metal shed, a big one to use as a garage and a storage shed out there. And hell, they wanted over $20,000 for just that. Uh-uh. It's not me, dude. I can't do it. And even with inflation, there's no way that house would cost what they are. Charge. Oh yeah, tech is making people more lazy, not smarter. Yep. As a kid, I had a free run of the town with no adult supervision. Really, all parents looked after local kids. They did. That was the same way when I grew up. If it got close to that time, when the street lights were going coming on to head indoors, if I wasn't out in our yard or the neighbor's yard, all my mom had to do was make a couple phone calls and somebody had eyes on me. I remember those days. My days of being an empty nester are coming to an end. It's too hard for my adult children to live on their own, and some of them are moving back along with their children. Yep. Let me make a run to the bathroom real quick. What you just said, Skipper, I got something to tell you about that. Um, I'll be right back. My I heard from my oldest son um, 2 days ago, and um, he works union construction. And during the wintertime, the place that he works at shuts down because they really can't do much in Indiana because of, snow and ice and everything. And he went to work for his wife's brother that does a lot of internal remodeling. So they were able to do stuff on job sites all winter long, but he wasn't making near the same amount of money that he makes union construction. March 1st, the job fired back up again, and he went right back to work with the union. Um, he's going to be traveling, or he's going to be, what did he say? 6 weeks in Fort Wayne, Indiana, working on a new build project. Um, but to get this done, he has to work 16 to 18 hours a day to get this project done in the 6 week window. So instead of driving for an hour each way and then working for 16 to 18 hours, he's just going to stay at a local campground in Fort Wayne, Indiana during that 6 week process and leave the wife and kids at home. Still be able to, go down and see them one day a week, but not make that trip every day. That's the only way that they're able to do it. That's the only way they're able to survive, is if he stays gone for a month and a half, 2 months, however long it takes. So he's gonna drag their little camper up there and put it in a campground, and that's how they're gonna. Yeah. So you know, just being able to, how was it you phrased it? Um, that's the only way they're able to make it. So in Canada, it'll take you 25 years just to have enough for a down payment on the house. Small car costs more than a house did in the 80s. Very true. I can't remember the last time anybody called their kids into the house. It's been years. It has. That's how we should live as a family unit, not send our family off to struggle. Exactly. Exactly. That's why I live in the garage to this day. Well, we do have a fair amount of room, but it's taking some doing to downsize to make space. I never realized how big of a hoarder I was. The wife accuses me of being a hoarder because, I've got all my equipment in here. I've got my desk. I've got, all my different eras of historic outfits. I've got all my paranormal equipment. I've got my folding tables. I've got all that stuff in here. Plus, I've got all my cookware and my iron sets and my tripod and all that stuff out in the shed. And she's like, "You need to start. You're hoarding. You're keeping things." And but these are all things that I use on a regular basis. I said, there's tens of thousands of dollars of outfits and equipment and things. I'm not just going to throw it away. It's things that get used. It's not my fault that, I have all these hobbies. I'm not going to give up my hobbies just because I've got a lot of stuff. Here's the solution: stay out of my room, and you don't got to look at it. Probably the dumbest words that ever came out of my mouth. When my four daughters were teenagers, I worked two full-time jobs, part-time job just to get by. You had four teenage daughters, dude. I believe I believe it was said best. I believe it was said best in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Got balls of bloody stone, man. He got balls of bloody stone. There's no way in hell having one teenage daughter in the house is enough, let alone four of them. I heard similar stories. It's getting very tough to survive these days. And there are people out there that are willing to put in those crazy hours and separation. Yeah, because my daughter in law works at a hospital, man. You know, she makes cap what for her field. So they would have to go even deeper in debt for her to go to college to move up to the next level. And yeah, no, $100,000 house was a mansion with a pool and tennis court and 10 acres in the 70s. Yeah, I used to think that $1 million home would be something like Clampett Mansion. Yeah, not today. $100,000 today is a single wide trailer and a lot rent. That's what they wound up paying for this place 20 years ago. Almost $100,000. And you've seen this place, Fish. This was and they already owned the land. There was a house sitting out here where those sheds set, um, where your back was to them when you sat on the deck. They had to tear the house down because it was so old and they couldn't keep up with how quickly it was going under. So they tore the house down and moved this modular onto the property. It cost them $100,000. They bought this place 21 years ago, and now that they have both passed on, Steph and I still owe almost, I think, just a little bit below $37,000 still. So yeah, believe me, I know. And now because insurance or whatever has gone up, the house payment has gone up from, you know, five. I think it was $560, and it's gone up to $635 a month. So, yeah, believe me, I know. My missus once told me I had about enough guns. Wait a second. Your beautiful wife spoke those words? I think I think my wife only said that to me once. Told me that I had just about enough stuff and didn't need anything else. I had to start getting rid of things if I wanted to get other things. And I grabbed a piece of paper and a pen and told her I was going to start making a list of things to get rid of. And I put her name right at the top of that line. And she just looked at me and told me to get out of her face. Not anymore. Exactly. I told her those words are grounds for divorce. Hey, Freedom, good to see you. Hope you're doing well this morning. Howdy, Santee. Good to see you. Due to inflation, you have no control over. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I gotta find new hobbies. Black Dahlia. Oh, it was a fun video. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I mean, the wife is so into these unsolved crime shows and things like that. When I was trying to find, some trying to find a new subject for a video, and I ran across, the whole story of Elizabeth Short. It's like, oh, I've got to tell that. I've got to put that one there up because that's an interesting story, and it's still got people dumbfounded today. And the real ironics of it was the wife and I had just, and I hate saying this, but the wife and I had just watched an episode of Ghost Adventures a couple weeks ago, and it was over the Black Dahlia murder. Zach Baggins was talking about or talking to um, the doctor's son, the former police officer, who's pretty much convinced his father did kill Elizabeth. And that's what got me thinking, I gotta tell this story. That's pretty cool. But a dollar buys what? With the gun restrictions here in Canada, because I didn't hunt, I had no need for one. You can't use them to protect your home. A banana. Yeah, that's about it, man. That's about it. When uh, we made cheeseburgers last week, and I wanted lettuce and tomato for my cheeseburger, and I realized that a head of lettuce was $2.99, and the tomatoes were over $3 for two tomatoes on a vine. And it's like, dude, what the f, man? I mean, I can understand if I was going out and buying a bag of shredded lettuce or something like that, which was no better because you go over to the cooler area and you look, and a bag of pre-shredded lettuce is $5. So it's either buy a head of lettuce for $3 or a bag of shredded lettuce, which is only half a head, for $5. What the f, dude? And bananas, $3 for a bunch. It has never been about need. Life is life. Yes, it is. You're right about that. I grew up using weapons and continued until I retired from the military in 1990. Personally, I saw what they could do, and I had no desire to have a gun in the house. Canadian government has made it very difficult to have guns of any sort, especially restricted weapons. I got my yay and my nay on the Canadian government because I watch a couple of YouTubers from Canada, and it's really funny that I believe they lived on the west coast. I think it was the west coast. Um, but he could order swords through the mail and have them delivered, but it was illegal for him to order a knife set through the mail and have it delivered. He couldn't order kitchen knives, but he could order swords. It made very little sense. You can own a sword, but you can't own a chef's knife without getting a special permit. Uh, I think I'd be more worried about somebody going around lopping heads off of you um, with a sword than I would be worried about somebody cleaning a chicken in their kitchen. So I don't know. I don't know. Veggies are expensive. Oh, tell me about it. My God. So's meat around here. Healthy is always more expensive. Wonder why? Yeah, really. Now, so much for my diet. We're eating so much pasta now to make ends meet. Wonder why poor people are overweight. All the corn fed weight products. Yeah, exactly. Weapons restrictions rarely make sense. Yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Here, of course, they're trying to ban assault rifles and stuff like that. I mean, grant, I see both sides of that. Our Constitution give us the right to keep and bear arms. It give you no restrictions on what arms you could keep and bear. At the same time, you know, who needs an AR-15 to hunt a deer? I mean, they're not shooting back at you. You only need one, two. If you're a really crappy, shitty shot, three bullets to drop a deer. You don't need 30 of them. But at the same time, our Constitution gives us the right to keep and bear arms and doesn't restrict on what kind of arms. Now they're trying to throw out restrictions now. You can't have a silencer. You can't have a certain um, shoulder rest design or whatever the case may be. Folding stock, and maybe you wanna John Wick that deer. So I mean, there should not be restrictions on, you know, you want to John Wick that deer, man. I mean, you know, go for it. Uh, well, the sad part is government restrictions affect the honest gun owners, but it doesn't stop the crooks. Exactly, exactly. Crooks can still buy guns out of trunks of cars and back alleys, but an honest person who wants to protect their home and their family can't go to a gun store and illegally buy a gun. But you can go to some, back alley out behind the local fish place and buy whatever and illegally. Why it doesn't make sense. That's my point, Drew. Everyone, hello. Been a while. So I catch you. Hey, Templar, good to see you, bud. I'm glad you made it in. It has been a while. Been too long. But I'm glad you're here. Okay, let me be very clear here. The Second Amendment is there so we can fight an army, foreign and domestic. Amen to that. They're trying to make it to the point where we can't. Will they ever succeed? No. Nope, not unless they go in and do a rewrite on the Constitution. Yeah, it's not about hunting. Yeah, you're right. It's not. You're absolutely right. I was just using that as an example. You're absolutely right about that, Tony. And I'm a supporter of our Constitution and the amendments. You know that. Speaking of vegetables, everyone, including myself, or looking at putting in gardens to cut down on the cost. I'm putting in a raised garden with the help of my daughter-in-law when they move in. Very cool. Very cool. That's what I would like to do is actually build garden boxes because once again, the only available ground we really have is out back where the house used to be. And it's too rocky, brick filled. You can't you can't dig down no further than that out here without hitting a rock this big from the old foundation on the house and everything. It's terrible. We've tried two different locations, the only two available locations in the ground, and we can't get anything to grow because of all the rocks. So I would really like to build garden boxes if we could find the wood or find the money to buy the wood, put some raised garden boxes in and put, some nice black soil in there and grow some mateys and some taters and bell peppers and onions, stuff that we really go through a lot. I just need my 6 guns, a rifle, and a couple shotguns. Don't want an AR. That's kind of how I feel about it too. But I like how Tony does things too, and have that nice little collection of ready to use home protective systems is really, really nice. Been working on gardening since spring, got tons of things growing. No arguments about your Second Amendment. We don't have that privilege. Spent 2 weeks in Georgia and Florida visiting kinfolk. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yes, they will. I just hope it isn't in my lifetime. Raise garden beds, go find places that will give you old pallets and build some. Places around here, dudes, sell pallets. People have made such hobbies and stuff out of taking apart old pallets and building things. We have a guy just 2 blocks away, works for the town, took a bunch of pallets from things that had been shipped into for the town crews and built a full. He's got an outside bar. He built the whole shed, the base, the roof, everything. The bar, all of his tables, the whole shooting shebang. He's got a place out there for an in-ground fire pit, all surrounded by this pallet wood and stuff. The only thing he had to buy was the tar paper and the shingles for the roof. So, I mean, places around here don't give pallets away anymore. They're selling them. They found a new way to make money. I don't own an AR or an AK. I don't like those. I'm not into any of the. Wait. Take the sheds apart and use the material from them to build boxes. The sheds are all metal, man. All old, rusty, crappy metal. If I'm going to grow stuff that's going inside my body, I don't want it kept inside old, rusty, crappy metal. And besides, much like my wife always tells me, don't this place look hillbilly enough? Yeah. I'm not into any of the Milsurp stuff beyond the 98 Mauser, the '03 Springfield. And those I would sporterize. Take used pallets from places that are willing. Take broken ones and piece good together. I do own a semi-auto 30-06 and a few semi-auto 22s. I'll be using 12-foot long corrugated iron troughs that are 3 foot across, 17 inches deep. We'll be putting in 4 of them. So that sounds really nice. That sounds really nice. Ooh. See, our biggest thing is the money thing. Just being able to go out and get the materials to build the things to save us money. It's kind of like opening my pizza place. Got it all worked out on how it's going to succeed. It's just the initial cost of the 50,000 for the building and the property, the 20,000 for the equipment, and the supplies. The 4,000 for the licensing and everything, and then the supplies to get them in. It's that initial cost that kills you. Oh, goodness gracious. My God, man. Men, women, folk, everyone. We've been at this for almost 2 hours. We got about 8 minutes left, 9 minutes, something like that. I cannot believe how quick these things go. The nice thing about it, though, having y'all to talk to has helped to wake me up and get me ready for everything else I got to do today before the investigation tonight. So it's going to be a busy couple days. Isn't it kind of funny though how you seem to work harder on your days off work than what you do when you're at work? I'll never understand how that works. Why we seem to work harder when we're off work than we do when we're at work. I'm too old and busted to make things out of pallets. And see, with me being very limited on my tools since Steph's grandfather did work. He was a union welder. I mean, since he did work with metal, when he passed away, the family got rid of all of his metal tools. And since I came in the picture, I purchased a lot of woodworking tools that have been borrowed without my permission and either destroyed or never returned. Um, yeah, that's why we keep the sheds locked so even family can't get in there and borrow things because it's for you and not for someone else. That's yeah, that's definitely yeah. That's why it always seems like we work harder because we're busy catching up everything that we need to do for ourselves that we weren't able to do for since the week before. I think it's because we're doing stuff we really want to do rather than we have to do. Makes sense as well. Where we have to work, and by the time we get done working, either our mood is ruined or we're too tired after working for other people for those 6 days or 5 days that when we finally get a chance to catch up on our own things, we've got such a list that you only have those 2 days to do. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, had to get a refill. I just refilled myself, dude. I just refilled myself. Oh, and I gotta refill it again. Because it's finally starting to work and the pot is just about empty. And yeah, that sucks because I didn't buy any coffee the other day and I'm almost out because I didn't have the money to. Did I miss anything good? Not really. I mean, how good could it be? Drew, I need to get a hold of you before week after next. What's going on the week after next? The only reason I ask is because I'm in pretty high demand. I mean, I need me all the time. So, yeah, um, I don't even have time to sit down and have a beer in the morning. Wait, I don't even have time to sit down and have a beer during the day. Except, when sharpshooter Mark comes over here, then it's have a beer in the morning. But I mean, because his morning, or yeah, our morning is his evening after working all night. So yeah, I can't let him drink alone. I mean, that's against all the bro codes, y'all. It's hard to do also when you don't really have a whole day off. I get home from work about 2 on Tuesday and in bed by 6 or 7 Wednesday for work. That's the one thing I do like about having my Mondays and Tuesdays is, when I leave work at 3 or 4 o'clock on Sunday, I don't have to be back until 11 on Wednesday. So that gives me 2 full days to do everything, my videos, my investigations, things the wife needs done around the house, the yard. Um, like I said, I've got stuff I've got to do for Ghostorama this coming weekend. I've got a new banner to make because I've not got a banner with our new logo on it. So I've got all this stuff that I have to do today and tomorrow to just get through until this weekend, and then yeah, thank God, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off next week. Be gone all day Saturday. Be working on stuff on the video all day Sunday, but yeah. The Chamber of Commerce is letting me put on a cowboy breakfast. Cool, 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 cool. I knew you was planning it. I'm glad they're letting you do it. You can't drink all day if you don't start early. Makes sense. I could agree with that. Um, I used to prefer weekdays off. Much easier to do shopping and stuff. A lot less people out there clogging up the stores while you're trying to do shopping, or going in there getting all the good deals before you get a chance to get there. Oh, breakfast! What a wonderful. Catch you guys later. I may make my wife something as well, just to be a nice guy. All right, Skipper. You take care of yourself, my friend, and be a nice guy. Make her something too. My wife's boss brought her some pasta company. I guess it's called Foods. She had to work at the other casino last night, so instead of a 15-minute drive, it was an hour drive. Um, so she brought her pasta company last night. She took a couple bites and said, "Oh hell, I'm saving that for breakfast." So she came home this morning, and the first thing she done was stuck it in the microwave and warmed it up. So yeah, her breakfast consisted of pasta instead of pizza. Something's happening. Something weird's happening. But yeah, you take care of yourself, bud, and definitely be a good guy. Make her some breakfast. Good luck, Midwest. Hope it goes well. But yeah, definitely. I hope that thing goes well. We will talk. I'll figure out some time to get a hold of you and help you get things squared away. It's the kids were in school. Used to go shopping at night before everyone started closing by 10. Store, yeah, exactly. Red meat and veggies are best. Too bad most can't get. Yeah, yeah, really. Let's see, the best time to get meat here in town is right around 11 o'clock, 11:30 in the morning, um, because our only store, that's when they set out all their manager specials. So though it's not like going to an actual meat market, that's when you find a lot of the meat and stuff marked half price or whatever. You just when you don't have the funds to buy the stuff with, it's hard to use it to stock up your freezer. Well, and our past breakfast wasn't anything like it is today. Yeah, I know past breakfast used to be biscuits and gravy and eggs and or fried taters or whatever the case may be. So it ain't nothing like it is today. It's a Pop Tart, bowl of cereal, whatever the case may be. But all right, guys and gals, it is no man before that. Did you grow up with one of those Pleasantville type breakfasts, Tony, where you had a stack of pancakes and waffles and sausage and bacon and eggs and stuff like that, like Grandma used to make? She wanted to make sure whatever you wanted was on that table. No matter how much of it she had to wrap back up and stick in the fridge later, it was always on that table in the morning. That might make a video of breakfast changes through the history of the U.S. I'll see what I can find. That's a good idea. I like that. But all right, y'all. It is that time. It's actually after that time. Uh, you guys all have a great day. Have a good week. I will be back here Friday morning as usual to let you guys see all my hair fall out from everything I've got to do this week before Saturday. So, good morning, Stephen. It's all right, bud. It's all right. That's the nice thing about this platform. You can go right back and watch it from the beginning. So, but you guys all take care. Have a good week. Much love to y'all. Don't work too awful hard. Try to have a little bit of fun. And we'll catch you guys here in a few days. Have a good day, y'all.